Hello, Samson here. So, I've been in a series of John Maxwell's books. This week I was reading John Maxwell's 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication. So, it is a book based on the different laws that John Maxwell came across, which have to do with the fact that if you're to become an effective communicator, so it might be in a family setup, it might be as a public speaker, and in across a wide range of events that you need maybe to have communication going. That is where the focus of the book is. So it is important basically to lay down a foundation on the importance of how you say stuff, when you say stuff, what you say, and how and why you say them basically. So the book is broken down into those four different sections, which we're going to delve in and focus on, which are going to give us a foundation of what we're going to talk about. So the 16 undeniable laws of communication. Law number one stipulates the law of credibility. So the most effective message is the one that you basically live. So people are going to get in sync with your message if you're basically living what you're talking about on a constant basis. And to be transparent or to be credible in your communication, the best thing to do is one, to be transparent, and then the second thing that you ought to do is to be consistent in the delivery of whatever you talk about, and then you need to be a good example. The other thing is to be competent, and then lastly is you need to be trustworthy. So if you're to become an effective communicator, then you need those qualities in order to be credible. Law number two is the law of observation. So he says that good communicators learn from great communicators. If you need to become a very good communicator, then you definitely need to learn from the great communicators. So learn from great communicators and observe them in the following. So the following are the things I think that need to be observed when you're talking about great communicators. So when did this communicator connect with the people? So you're talking about timing, and then you're talking about how did the communicator connect with the audience. We're talking about the skill set that is used there. And then we're also looking into how did he manage to communicate with the audience. So we are looking at the greatness that the communicator had, and then we're also dealing with the fact that how can I communicate like him. So this is the potential that you have as a communicator. And then the last one to look at is what are my connecting keys. This is definitely looking at your technique that you could employ. So in order for you to become an observant kind of, for you to gain the law of observation, then there is need to follow those steps highlighted. And then law number three is the law of conviction. So the stronger you believe in your message, the more the people are going to feel it. So it's only at the point that you have conviction so much in your message that people are going to receive it. So there are like three levels of conviction when it comes to the law of conviction. The first one is the personal level. So where you understand and know that you can make a difference when you communicate with people. And then the second level is the level of people conviction, where you believe that what you're telling the people, what you're communicating with, is able to impact their lives. And then the last one is purpose conviction, where you know and understand that when they know their why, they should be able to know their way. So in law number four, another section of the book which is dealing with what is said. So we looked at who said it, and then now we are looking at what is said. So law number four is the law of preparation. You cannot deliver basically what you haven't developed. So there is that need for you to be able to prepare in order to go into different settings to be able to deliver whatever message that you want to deliver. So you don't just worry about what you're going to deliver, but you need to work it around. And then there are a lot of techniques and the importance basically of preparation in order for you to be able to present yourself well. So it's need for you to be able to present yourself well, and the only way to achieve that is for you to have that preparation in your mind. Law number five is the law of collaboration. So this one states that some of your best thinking is only going to be done when you're around others, because you cannot basically think about everything alone. So the value of collaboration stems from the fact that it's a big step in my development when I came to realize that other people can do a lot more better job than I can do myself. And then some characteristics of a collaborating team. The first one is there is need for open-mindedness, and then secondly, there is need to be able to ask and answer questions. Thirdly, there is need to be able to generate ideas, and then fourthly, which is the last one, is good collaborators give themselves feedback, or they give feedback and then they're able to receive feedback, which takes me to law number 6. So this law is the law of content. In 1996, I think it was Bill Gates. Yeah, it was Bill Gates who talked about the fact that content is going to become king in the following years. And this is what's happening right now when you go to social media and everywhere. You only follow people who've got certain content that you want to bring out. So the law of content states that when you have something worth saying, people are going to start listening. So basically, if you've got something worthwhile saying, then people are going to find you. That's the law of content. The next section of the book, which is dealing with how it is said, in law number 7, we are talking about the law of connectivity. This is the most important law according to John Maxwell in his book. So communicators know it's about others. It's not about you. It's basically about others. So people who focus on themselves seek to gain attention, and then there are people who focus on content, who basically deliver information. But then great communicators are people who focus on making who focus on others, and then at the end of the day they get to make a connection, and that is the law of connectivity. For any message that you need to deliver, there is need for you to be able to connect with people. Law number 8 is the law of leverage. Good communicators lead with their strengths and use them often. So there is need for you to leverage with your strength. John Maxwell uses his heart, his hopes, his help, and then his humor in order to deliver. Those are his areas of strength when it comes to his messages. And then there is need for you to leverage your natural talents, and then there is need for you to leverage on your skills, which is taking me to law number 9, which is the law of anticipation. So when you can't wait to say it, they cannot wait to hear it. Basically, how ready you are. The law of preparation, if you're ready enough and then you're anticipating enough that people are going to receive your message, and when you deliver it, it's going to be received. In law number 10, we're dealing with the law of simplicity. So communicators take something complex and make it simple. As much as possible, there is no need for you who is delivering a message that has to impact lives, making it complicated. So excellent and great communicators are people who communicate something that is complex and then just simplify it to a level where people are able to understand what they're talking about. Law number 11 is the law of visual expression. So show and tell is better than just tell. So there is this technique where you need to be able, if it's presenting with animations, when it comes to the delivery of whatever you're presenting, there are all those elements which come into play. So understanding the fact that show and tell is better than just tell, because pictures, people think in picture form, so pictures are able to stay in people's minds. And yes, so 3 ways to improve on your communication when it comes to that aspect. There is, so the body's gestures, and then there is the work of pictures, and then there is the work of pictures and videos as well. Law number 12 is the law of storytelling. This is a law that I need to learn basically as an individual. That's what I found, I think, captivating in the book, because people see their own lives in the stories that you tell. And then for you to become an excellent or an effective storyteller, there is need for you, one, to be able to show. So when you show them what you want them to see, it becomes memorable to them. Secondly, there is need for you to help them. So how will you telling the story help them? That aspect is supposed to come into play. And then there is need for you to amplify. So amplifying means, what do you want them to imagine at the end of it? And then there is need for them to relate. So what is it that you want them to relate to when you tell them the story? And then lastly is enjoying. So how can I make them enjoy and make the experience unforgettable when it comes to that. And then when it is said. So when it is said in law number 13, we're talking about the law of the thermostat. So great communicators read the room and then they're able to change the temperature. So there is need basically to read through the room in order for you to understand the kind of setting that you're dealing with. Law number 14 is the law of change up. So the law of change up basically has to do with the fact that calmness is the death of communication. This is simply because everyone values variety, so there's no need to have the same thing over and over. And then lastly, why it is said in chapter 15 or law number 15, which is the law of adding value. So people can forget what you say, but they will never forget how you make them feel. And then the practices to follow in order for people to have a feel of you is basically you need to focus on sowing and not reaping. And then lastly, you need to lift your likability level. So you need to like people in order for them to be able to value whatever you're delivering to them. And then the last law number 16, is the law of the results. So the greatest success in communication is action. After you've communicated, and then the next thing is for people to be able to take action. So actions inspire action. So in order for you to be able to achieve this as a communicator, there is need that you become action oriented yourself, and then there is need of you to refine the way people think and then realign the way they think in your communication. And then there is need to make taking action seem irresistible for them. And then lastly, there is need to use communication to create a bridge to action. So John C. Maxwell's 16 undeniable laws of communication. Till we meet in the next segment, I am checking out.